for this second coffee break of 2022. Yeah, virtual coffee break. And this one is titled Green Basics and Business Operations with the St. Louis Green Business Challenge Impacts into Year 13 with Jean Ponzi, our main speaker. For this half hour, we really want to keep it casual and keep it to a conversational approach. So after Jean gives her informative presentation, there'll be opportunity to ask questions, unmute yourself, and really learn a little bit further about this very important initiative in the St. Louis area. While Jean is speaking, we do ask you keep muted so that there isn't a lot of interference with the conversation. You can also use the chat function and Zoom reactions on the main bar below. If you do have a question that you just want to get out of your head and make it visible so you don't forget. Yeah, and then now before Jean starts, I wanted to speak a little bit about her excellent background. She serves as Green Resources Manager at the Missouri Botanical Garden in St. Louis, a 26-year veteran of the Garden's EarthWays Center team. Green Jean, I love the nickname. She currently applies her sustainability expertise as manager of the St. Louis Green Business Challenge, operator of the Garden's Green Resources Info Service, and on the leadership team for the regional initiative Biodiverse City St. Louis. Her Enviro interview show, Earthworms, has logged over 32 years of conversations through KDHX St. Louis Independent Media as her volunteer community service. Jean is in demand as a speaker, writer, and media spokesperson, offering local and national audiences both practical options and ecological inspiration. And we are inspired, Jean, to have you with us today. I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, my friend.
Thanks, David. Thanks so much. Thanks, Freddie. Thanks, everybody, for coming. USGBC, some longtime friends and peeps. I'm going to whip through some slides here about the Green Business Challenge because I really like to show people what we're doing and not just talk, and then have time for questions, of course. So the challenge is a program that works with businesses of any kind and any size to help each participant green up the kinds of day-to-day operations that are common to every business. We, the EarthWays team, brings our depth and breadth of knowledge in sustainability, our expertise and our problem solving and our relational skills and our biophilia. We bring all that to work with all of our participants. The challenge was launched in 2010. The St. Louis Regional Chamber actually launched it, contracted with us initially. Then we became partners to leverage the power of both our brands. And when the chamber stepped away in 2017, we took it over. I have worked with the challenge since it was launched in 2010. So that means that this year I have a teenager on my hand. The Missouri Botanical Garden, ta-da! Why a program like this from the garden? Well, why USGBC has been under the umbrella of the garden since the chapter was chartered in 2000 with our dear friend Deborah Frank, who, by the way, if you know, she's had some health challenges. She's doing really, really, really good. She's so courageous and she's doing good. Think of her, send her a note on Facebook if you're her friend. The garden's mission is to discover and share knowledge about plants and their environment in order to preserve and enrich life. And EarthWays Center is that and the environment. So USGBC being a part of EarthWays Center, getting to have a small staff under the umbrella of a 400-person institution, that's been a really, really good fit. And the challenge coming on in 2010 really stands on the shoulders of the leadership that USGBC established, getting sustainability as a business priority within the building industry with the diverse companies of the building industry. And it's been my pleasure to get to work with a lot of companies in the building industry, but also, just a huge mix, 250 companies so far. Might not seem like a lot, but we have over a 60% of those companies have been in the challenge for 3 years or more, emphasis on the or more. And I think there's 10 maybe at this point that have been in the challenge all 13 years. So as time went on, we started with a scorecard. And here it is, that's this is our basic tool. This is like the LEED scorecard, right? You put all the green, you should on a list, put it in categories, give it point values, and that enables busy, linear, strategically thinking business people to say, oh, we're doing this. Oh, we want to try for this. Hey, we're going to stretch for this. Don't even think about it. And that strategy has been really, really good. The challenge, actually, our whole program structure was adapted from the Chicago Green Office Challenge in the era when Mayor Daley was trying to get Chicago to be the greenest city in the world, and he got ICLEI and Office Depot to create a program to help businesses in Chicago achieve Chicago's own carbon emission reduction goals. We have tiny little toddler goals like that in the St. Louis area, but the challenge is working toward this kind of stuff. And really, we're following the lead, and we're in that flying wedge of leadership. We're in the V there behind USGBC and behind the huge work of Emily and partners with the Building Energy Performance Standard and the WashU Climate Collaborative. Green is a thing. It's a circle of peeps. It's a community of practitioners. And in the challenge, you can see the list of stuff that our companies and nonprofits and municipalities work with. We've evolved different levels of participation over time in order to get a feeder class coming in every year, and in order to continue to serve the needs and keep up engagement with high performing companies. So this is a big new thing that we have. It's talk about 13 years and impact and growth. The Green Biz Tracker is an online platform that is designed to tally up and give feedback on impacts to programs, companies and programs like ours. It was developed by the California Green Business Network, California, right? Regulation out the wazoo. You can't hose a driveway or you'll go to jail, that kind of thing. It's night and day difference from what we have here in Missouri, with almost no regulatory drivers and also almost no fiscal drivers toward greening, because we have some of the lowest utility rates still in the country, and landfill tipping fees have not risen, as I like to say, since the dawn of time. So Green Biz Tracker, it costs $20,000 a year to use this platform, to license this platform, but we've got it here in Missouri, and the challenge is the first entity to use it in Missouri through a grant from US EPA that was facilitated by the California Green Business Network and GBEN, the Green Business Engagement National Network, which is about 40 programs like ours all across the country. So this year, thanks to this EPA grant, Tracker is available in Missouri and New York State. And it's my job in the 2 years that we have it for free before the $20K a year kicks in, once we get it established here, then to talk to other programs around Missouri, get them to use this online platform, which is very adaptable. Like, we are not a certification program, and most of the programs that use Tracker are certification programs. So the way you toggle on and toggle off things makes it adaptable to whatever program you use. I'm going to be working with talking to programs like ours around the country, and even here, like the Green Schools Quest could potentially use this. The Green Dining Alliance could potentially use this. One of the advantages of Green Biz Tracker, and it's being reconfigured this year to better provide this service, it will give you metrics on the impacts of your program as a whole. And it's tough, as you know, to get metrics on, say, energy performance data out of individual companies into a program like ours, because a lot of that data, a lot of that information is considered proprietary. But Tracker will take that information in, it will configure it, and we will have actual metric outcomes from the challenge for the first time this year. Ding, 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 ding. And this is a huge challenge for me. We don't call it the challenge for nothing, because I am so not tech girl, but we're making it work. Okay, so if you are a company that does any business in the green space, there's several examples here. The challenge has been a wonderful B2B connection, professional connection. We don't have it's not a selling environment, but we've had green business fairs in the past, just as USGBC has had, especially in the early years. We hosted a bunch of those at the Garden. And if a company is doing business, selling things or providing services that have a sustainability potential for them, we have helped some of them. Office Essentials is a really good example. Locally owned office supply company. They do have a couple of national clients like Build-A-Bear, because Build-A-Bear is headquartered here. So office supplies to Build-A-Bear facilities in other parts of the country. They have worked with the challenge, and frankly, with Missouri Botanical Garden, they are our sole source office supply contractor going through an RFP process to grow their sustainability knowledge so that when they're looking at sourcing products and when they're marketing products, they're doing that with transparency and they're doing it with green knowledge, not greenwashing. And then you get to, like electronics recycling. There are 2 electronics recycling companies in St. Louis that I will recommend. That's it. I've been on the board of a recycling grant making agency for almost 12 years, and I know too much about that industry. So who really does a good job? If you're a company in the challenge and you want to do something green, who can we connect you to that will provide that service where green really is green and where all of those connections and all of those decisions grow the veracity and the strength and the culture and the dynamics of sustainability across our regional economy? We make awards. Right, awards, right? It's really good. You put another thing on the wall, you put another thing in your case, but it's a valuable thing. And we publish an accomplishments book every year. And this is a shout out to USGBC. In the very first year of the challenge, 2010, we're coming to the end of the year and companies are getting awards based on most points gained. But the only entities that knew how many points you got were you, the company and your green team, and me and Eric Schneider, who at that time was the program head for the St. Louis Regional Chamber. He works for Straight Up Solar now, and they're in the challenge, and they're a certified B Corp. So what are we going to do? How are we going to recognize accomplishment? Well, we adapted the lead project profile so that every company gets a page in our accomplishments book. They send us a bullet list of accomplishments and innovations. Again, an adaptation from having been around USGBC and the lead process as part of the EarthWays team. Innovations we classify as either exemplary performance in one of those scorecard measures, one of those day-to-day operational green measures, or it's an innovation that is specific to what you do for your business. I'm not an expert in what you do for your business. I'm an expert in how green works. So that's what I'm coaching. But the team and we get to learn about those specializations. Radioactive medicine products manufactured by Curium for Mallinckrodt. What are some other really interesting ones? Bethesda Health has been in the challenge for many years, managing multiple residential facilities and rehab facilities. And then overall, that knowledge base, as you know, that grows, that community of practitioners grows. And when we had to go into COVID sequester in 2020, we have this little graphic. Stan Gelman Graphic designs our awards for us every year. They do that as a contribution, and then we pay for the production of the award. And they had developed this little graphic without the subsurface. And when we got into 2020 and everybody went into sequester, I wanted to recognize the fact that we were sustaining sustainability. All of us challenge participants, we were supporting those deep roots of sustainability. And that's where the deep roots came in there. And Stan Gelman has won national awards for every round of award they've done for us. It's a really good comes around. Graybar, shout out. They have been our presenting sponsor every year of the challenge. And they very quickly, early on, took what the process they did in the challenge in St. Louis and rolled that out into a green challenge-like program across Graybar facilities nationwide. And they're an employee-owned company, so that has additional impacts, I think. Green literacy, how can human beings learn to think about green and function green? And that, what we learned, the challenge team, what we're able to network and spread around and be a yenta for within the community of practitioners here is terrific. A shout out to St. Patrick's Center. Last year, St. Patrick's Center collaborated, we started in 2020, with a green maintenance training that I developed and did for their clients that helped them initiate recycling, and it helped give their clients, reopen a pathway toward green collar jobs for their clients. And last year, we brought Roots of Success to St. Louis. This is a national program. It comes out of California. It's recognized by the Department of Labor, environmental literacy and green job training and job readiness for people who may not have a GED, so they can't get into community college, or they're incarcerated, or they just were incarcerated. And St. Patrick Center is in the process now of finishing up their first cohort of Roots of Success job training in St. Louis. And we're working the challenge and USGBC, me and Emily, you better watch out for these green girls. We're working on getting recognition of green, because we are the experts in that area, into, like, say, Greater St. Louis Inc., where green doesn't really have very much of a foothold. Too much pink in there, I guess. I don't know. Lots of service, lots of opportunities, lots of employee engagement. If a company wants to do something green, we'll coach them, we'll help them do it. We'll help them network. Shout out to the Cardinals. The hottest ticket in service is their For a Greener Game recycling collection program in home games. Lots of sustainability reporting, ESG, CSR, sustainability plans. Granite City, Illinois developed a sustainability plan. Collinsville adapted that sustainability plan, turned it into an infographic. Webster Groves this year is adapting that sustainability plan. So transference from one to another. This is happening because of the network, because of the connectivity that allows green leaders and green experts to talk to each other and work with each other and grow that capacity. Relationships in place. That is ecology in a nutshell. And then making it popular, making it visible. You see recycling at Busch Stadium at a Cardinals game, and you think, this is a really thing. Where if you see it in your office, you don't necessarily see that's a real thing. Green roofs, green transportation, electric vehicle infrastructure and availability, ecological landscaping, my favorite. Now, this is the next thing. The challenge for 12 years has supported individual efforts. We need collaborative efforts. Individual efforts, I'm sorry, are no longer sufficient, as humankind has ignored the impacts of climate change for so long. So, for example, the transference of sustainability planning process, and literally the plan moved from one city to another and just got pictures put on it. The Zoo Museum District, we've had all 5 institutions in our taxpayer funded ZMD in the challenge now. This is the 3rd year. What can we do together that is more than the sum of our parts? And the Haven of Grace down there, that was development of a native plant garden with a landscape training program for St. Patrick Center clients. Focal Point Outdoor Solutions contributed the design because Haven of Grace had gotten a grant from one of their board members to transform from knockout roses to a native plant landscape. How did they do it? They called the Missouri Botanical Garden, and ding, 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 we made it a challenge project. Okay, so that's it for me. That's my brief but spectacular overview of the St. Louis Green Business Challenge. Registration opens for the challenge this year on Monday. We're putting the finishing touches on Green Biz Tracker. We have, if you want to know how to get into the challenge, go to our website, stlouisgreenchallenge.com. We also have a LinkedIn group. We're not on Facebook, and I'm happy to talk to anybody individually about getting your company in the challenge. And this was like one of my favorite events of all time. We had the 2018, I think, or 2017 challenge event at Busch Stadium in December. It was freezing ass cold. And we got the challenge logo up on the Jumbotron. And I got the best professional photo ever with my company logo in the background with a really good outfit with the arch in Busch Stadium. Okay, that's the story. I'm gonna keep my contact information up here for a minute. What are your questions, please?
Yes. Gee, I must say that I felt you were a little shy during that half hour.
Yeah, I fooled you, didn't I, David?
No, but thank you. That the passion and the vivaciousness and just the mission of the Green Business Challenge is so important, and you got me even more wanting to do something with it. So thank you so much. Excellent work. And yes, anyone who does have a question, feel free to unmute yourself or let us know in the chat, and we could definitely let you give that to Jean. And a little shameless plug coming from the AIA St. Louis office and the Resource Center. If you need your building products, come for me. But the newly formed COAT committee, Committee on the Environment, is starting the AIA Plus 2030 series. And as a gift to the St. Louis community, it is free to join virtually. I'm going to put the links for both the AIA plus COAT and the Resource Center in the chat box. So feel free to access those. And let me see if anyone else has.
I'm waving to Dan and Marianne. We have a Green Cities Challenge, a municipal element of the program, thanks to Dan J. lobbying to do that.
Policy, baby.
Does anybody have any questions? And David, can we I want to get AIA in the challenge. We should have the AIA office in the challenge.
Ooh.
That is a very good idea. Yes, we will definitely be connecting offline about that. That sounds excellent.
So Jean, tell us about this green tracker thing. How did that come about?
Yeah, it's a online platform. What's it called? Environmental Innovations is the name of the company. The California Green Business Network commissioned development of it. They have like 40 programs in the state of California under the umbrella of the California Green Business Network. And each one of them is a certification program. They're very, very localized. And they developed this program, I want to say it was in 2006 or 2008. It's gone through a couple of iterations, and we've known about it since 2017, but it's flipping expensive. It's $20,000 a year to use this. Our presenting sponsorship is only $15K. So last year, I didn't have to do anything. I wrote a letter and said, hey, I'd like to use this for the challenge. And Cassie Carroll, who heads the Illinois Green Business Network up in Champaign, Illinois, and is also the chair of GBEN, the Green Business Engagement National Network. She and Joe Fleming in California Green Business Network, they wrote the grant to EPA. It came out of something, I forget the acronym, but it's like EPA Information Systems. So we got it. We got it for 2 years for the state of Missouri. And it may be that this is a useful tool for the Green Schools Quest, especially as that program has gone statewide through the Missouri Foundation for Health grant. It's you sign on, you got it's converts to an online platform from Excel Health. And Dan J, those green cities, oh my God, that is my favorite part of the challenge. They are so resourceful and so plucky, and they talk to each other and they collaborate with each other. I love working with the green cities, and that is totally thanks to you. We've had 18 communities in the challenge. I'd like to get some lower income communities in the challenge, and we're going to be working on a grant to the Gateway Regional Environmental Fund, hopefully that will support some work specifically with like the communities in 24-1, the 24 communities that are part of the school district, communities in St. Clair County, Illinois. Madison County pays the fee for all of their communities every year. And that's why we've had so many Madison counties in year after year after year. And God, what a great investment that has been. And and the challenge is taking the lead on the Green Works Here Award for Earth Day 365 this year. Jessica, Dr. Jess Watson, God, she is one of my Green Goddess heroines. And what Earth Day 365 is doing to, again, continue to raise the profile and make green relevant and make it accessible. Not even getting into the stupid waters of polarization and politicization and all that kind of stuff. And Tim Michaels, as you know, energy has always opened the door for people to engage with green because you save a little money. And then you get to deal with all this other kind of stuff like climate. If we talk about climate.
You're using the C word here.
Taboo word, climate, for some
C word, the C word.
C word, C word. There's a lot of bad C words, but that's not one of them.
So I'm curious, Jean, since you've have had to transfer to kind of virtual engagement with registrants and companies and their employees, how has that impacted either kind of the activities or programs that they come up with, or
Tough. It's tough. It's been tough. It's tough for the companies because their workforces are dispersed, because they, what if everybody wants to do recycling, right? Recycling is the gateway drug to everything else green. Recycling is not going to save the planet, spoiler alert, but it's what human beings want to do. It's what gets them in. And, that has in companies because there aren't enough people there. And the big thing for me is the key service, what's very customized service. You got all your stuff on the scorecard, but what you get is you get a coach who goes into your business and looks into your closets and goes through your break room and gives a talk to your green team and gives a workplace talk while I'm there. How many things can we load into a 4-hour site visit? Couldn't do it. And we only had a couple of new companies in 2020 and 2021, but I think we're going to have a lot more new companies in 2022, which is a good problem to have. Getting back in there and making that site visit and having that person-to-person contact and getting a feel for the culture of the company. Not only their goals, but is it buttoned up? Is it real loose? What is going to work to make green work in that company? What shade of green will take root here? That's been really tough. And I hope that we will have a breakthrough in that. And it's.
Well, Jean, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the whole hybrid workplace.
Yeah. That
and
too.
what does that mean? Which I think is here to stay.
Yeah.
And so that makes you start thinking about, your home office
Yeah.
as part of the workplace. And how does that relate to the Green Business Challenge? What an interesting question.
Right. And fortunately, we've had a very, very strong program of taking green home for quite some time. That was something that companies asked us for. So that's not really configured literally about in your home office, but that's something that we can emphasize. And I got to say this, we stuck a biodiversity component into the challenge because, hey, we're in charge. We can do whatever we want. And this has been sort of a kitchen table evolution run by women, not to put too fine a point on it. In 2013, when the garden had launched a regional biodiversity initiative, we made up a biodiversity part of our scorecard called Better Business Through Biodiversity. And once we get Green Biz Tracker launched and in use here, then I'm going to go back to work with the tracker team, and we're going to adapt our biodiversity scorecard, which has been hugely popular with companies since we launched it in 2013. We're going to push that out through Green Biz Tracker to all the programs that participate with it nationwide.
Yay!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Bugs, trees,
Woo!
yay. Any other questions, comments? Anyone? Bueller?
Absolutely. Feel free to unmute yourselves. And yeah, definitely. We can keep the conversation going.
I am most excited about the green jobs advocacy through Roots of Success. And I knew about Roots of Success through my show, Earthworms. Back in 2007, I got a media release from the Ella Baker Center for Civil Rights in Berkeley, saying that this green collar job study had just been done by Dr. Raquel Pinterhughes, who is the head of urban planning for San Francisco State University. So I call her up and I get her on Earthworms, and she tells me about green collar jobs. I've known about it since then. There was an update to that study a couple years ago. And last year, when Rachel Witt, who is involved with the advocacy committee for APA, and she's the head of South Grand Civic Improvement District, Sue Haberman at St. Patrick's Center and we were talking about what could we do to advocate for green collar jobs, because we knew there was a need in solar and ecological landscaping for sure. So I call up old Raquel Pinterhughes. I go, hey, do you remember me? Yeah, she does. She doesn't want to talk about that study. She's got this program now, Roots of Success, a 10-module environmental literacy curriculum, teaching sustainability to people who are like maybe in prison, and how to put that into practice and develop jobs. I'm really proud of that. That is a thing delivered, ready to go. It's functioning here. Employment Connection is somebody that we're talking to. Missouri Department of Conservation is doing some green jobs development. It doesn't supplant, it augments the capacity of our fabulous community college system to develop green collar jobs. And it also could function in high schools. I'm proud of that. And I'm looking forward to more collaboration. Cortex came in as a sponsor this year. We're calling that as a partnerships and collaboration sponsor. So it brings in a little bit more moolah la. Sustainable St. Louis contributed that kind of moolah la that frankly, it covers staff time to do this work. This is a very, very staff intensive program. It's 100% fee and sponsorship covered. And if it doesn't make its budget, we can't do it, but we're doing it. And doing it in partnership with the fine work of USGBC and now the WashU Climate Collaborative and Earth Day 365. We had monthly programs for every year that we had. Once a month, we'd move around to different locations and have 3 or 4 presenters. Well, what do we do in the pandemic? We went to Zoom. Since April 2020, we have had 76 weekly virtual brown bag seminars. It's like earthworms for the Green Business Challenge. I've been doing a weekly show for a long time. So now we do it for business, and it's a spotlight on companies in the challenge and also gives us the opportunity to spotlight programs and projects not in the challenge, but that we want our challenge community to know about. And I get to be the MC, so haha.
The ultimate bonus. Well, Jean, thank you so much. I know we're a few minutes past 10:30, which we could probably go for another hour or so, just hearing from you and learning so much about the Green Business Challenge. And we definitely would welcome you back for a future coffee break. So we really appreciate it. And for all of you who are live with us at the Education Committee of USGBC, we welcome new members, and we are very fortunate to plan showings like our coffee breaks. We have evening programming throughout the year, and our next coffee break is March 4th, and the title is West Florissant Avenue Great Streets Project and Federal Infrastructure Funding. So we're very excited about that and invite you to join us. And then on our USGBC MO Gateway website, there is a full listing of upcoming programming. There's no shortage of it. So if you can't do one, always plan for another one. And then we do have a lot of our coffee breaks available on YouTube within the 24 to 48 hours afterwards. So we appreciate you all. And Jean, we bow down to you. Thank you for just always being.
Let us all bow wow to one another. There has never been a more critical time for human beings to work on this kind of stuff, and we can work on it in tandem with other things that we care about: diversity, equity, inclusion, fashion, whatever the hell it is. Put those things together. I always tell people, start with what you love and start there, and don't think about doing too many things. And USGBC, thank you, David. Great to meet you. Freddie, really, really good work. My longtime friends and colleagues. Onward. One of my secret goals, my hidden agenda, is get this green stuff into Greater St. Louis Inc.
Green's a very good looking color. Speaking of fashion, if you're rocking that
big secret, right?
All right. Well, have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for coffee this morning. Take care. Feel free to reach out with any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Freddie.
Yeah.
Go green.
Bye, Jessica. Bye.